Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be making some oatmeal chocolate chip cookies with some coconut flakes in it. And if you'd like to see how I am able to make this recipe, please watch the rest of this video. Thank you. 1.5 cup of butter, some chocolate, dark chocolate, 1 cup of dark chocolate, and half a cup of milk chocolate, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, baking powder, oatmeal of course, white sugar, brown sugar, coconut flakes, vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract, 3 eggs, flour, sugar. And when you're creaming, you always want to scrape the edges so everything creams uniformly, so you won't have some parts that are not cream. So just do that like so. And the best type of utensils to use when baking is glass or aluminum bowls. But if you have stainless steel, because the mixture mixes well in those sorts of materials. And then just cook the rest on the mixer, and then continue until you get a creamy texture. You probably have to mix a bit more because the sugar hasn't quite broken down yet. It smells amazing though. It smells really good. But I'm gonna mix for a little bit, like maybe 2 more minutes, and I'll probably speed the video up here. Crack 3 eggs, and when you do that, when you put it into the batter, you want to put 1 egg at a time. So each egg is mixed in thoroughly. Eggs act as a binder when baking, so it's what makes your dough stick together. It makes your dough also fluffy. You can choose to use 2 or 3 depending on how soft you want it. So that's 1 egg. I'm gonna mix gently. I'll add some vanilla extract, just 1 teaspoon. So you need cream again for a few seconds. That's quite messy, but here you go. This is your final batter before you add your dry ingredients. So the key to baking is knowing when to add your dry and when to add your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients. So I'm fine with this right now. So now I'm gonna move over to my dry ingredients. Looks like I changed the camera because I was using my phone and I used the front screen, the front camera, but now I'm using the back camera so you guys can see the texture I was talking about. This is just the butter, sugar, eggs, and vanilla extract. So now, oh, I forgot to plug in my mic. Let me do that quick. Okay, just plug in the mic. Put in the flour. So this is 1.5 cups of flour. I use the measuring cups. Let me I use this cup. This is 1/2 cup. So 2 of these makes 1 cup. So I use 3 of this. That's 1.5 cup of flour. I'm trying to use all of that because make sure my measurement is right. Oatmeal, coconut flakes, sugar to coat. This has sugar on it, so you can opt out of this completely, but I like it. It adds some extra texture and flavor to the cookies. Of course, your chocolate chip, the most important ingredient in here. Final ingredient is the cinnamon, soda, baking powder, and salt, but I'll add that. I just want to mix this in and then I'll add that when I'm done. Yeah, I also had to change the angle of what I filmed for the batter because it wasn't very, wasn't very pleasant. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay. It smells so good. So I'm just gonna do this. Just mix very well so everything is equally blended. It smells amazing. The reason why I will mix the dry ingredient first is because you don't want to, if you put everything straight into your batter, like your butter mixture, if you over mix your flour, it's gonna get too dry when you're baking. So that's why you always have to make your dry ingredients separate from your wet ingredients and do all your mixing of the dry separate. So when you put everything into the batter, you just don't have to mix too much. Get our batter, and then I'm gonna mix everything in there. It smells amazing. That's the fun part about baking, is just to see the different flavors come out. Makes it very exceptional. So again, if you have a glass bowl or stainless steel or aluminum, those are the best sort of materials that are good for baking, because the mixture just folds in better. It doesn't stick to the plastic. It doesn't stick to the bowl if it's aluminum or glass, but it sticks to the plastic bowl. I guess because of the the material is made out of. So we're gonna mix everything in, fold it. I think I need to get like a bigger spoon, just something flatter. So we'll mix that part, and then we'll mix this part. And then you mix that part. Then you mix that part. Then you do it again. This part, this part, this part. And then mix everything in. See how everything is looking quite nice. Some people usually go back in with the mixer, but I just find that that's a bit too messy, and I like the mixer might break up the chocolate chips, and I like the chocolate chips to be whole to be individually whole in the biscuits or cookies if you're American. Yeah, everywhere in the UK and they call it biscuits, but just keep mixing. Okay, sorry about the shadows. I'm filming this at 1 a.m. in the morning, and this is actually, I like baking at night. So because when you wake up in the next few hours, when everything has settled and the flour and everything has settled, everything tastes so much better. Pastries taste so much better like 3 to 4 hours when you're done, or a whole day, because everything has settled in. So you just continue like so. But I think we're done mixing. I just want to make sure I don't have any like flour. Make sure you go to the bottom and then just mix it. Yeah. See, everything has come into one uniform piece. That's what we want. So this makes a very good like holiday treat as well. If you celebrate Christmas, this is the time to make this kind of recipe for your family. It has a lot of sugar, but what's the holiday without some sugar, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and get your baking powder, your baking sheet. Make sure it's ungreased, okay? So make sure it's a non-stick pan and do not grease the pan. And here's the fun part. Gonna get my gloves. Good. Okay, while that's baking, I'm going to mold the rest of the dough and put it in this plate because I only have one. I like to use that baking sheet. The other baking sheet I have is glass, and you know glass bakes faster. So try to give you can make this smaller. We can make this batch smaller just by cutting up into smaller pieces. Another thing you can do is actually make this and put it in the freezer. You can make this, you can make it sugar free, you can make it keto. Sugar free, I think, what you say, you use like raisins to sweeten and dates. No, that's keto. Sugar free, I think you use the artificial sweetness, the 0-calorie ones. And then you just make that. And then we'll just make that. I'm gonna speed the camera up here because I think pretty much showing you the details of how this is made. And when the batch in the oven is done, I'll bring it back to normal speed, and then we can see what we have. Okay, so this has baked for about 13 minutes, and I'm gonna take it out of the bowl. immediately so that it stops cooking. If you notice, the cookies that were on the edge of the pan are a bit browner, so you have to keep that in mind. Again, if you want cookies that be harder and more crisp, you can leave it to bake for longer. Smells absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna bake, put the rest of it in the pan just like we did earlier, and I'm gonna clean up and then I'll do the outro after that. So we're done. Here are the cookies. Have some tea. Mm. 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 And there's some water. Isn't this the cutest mug? Well, thanks for hanging out with me. We're done. Hopefully you can recreate the recipe and have something for your family for the Christmas.